Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today guys, we have an Immortal VOD review here from Sleepy, who writes in and says, "Hi, I play an EU and I'm trying to main smoke / support characters." Well, you've come to the right place. He says he would like some tips that can help him be more helpful for the team, so essentially supporting the team, but also getting high impact kills or just kills in general, so I have more ways to support the team and not depending entirely on my utility, right? So I think that's a really good point to make, is that a lot of the times you don't want to go to the extremes, right? Relying entirely on utility to have impact, or relying entirely on your ability to get kills to have impact, right? There needs to be a nice balance there. That's how you are a more well-rounded player and you're of more use to your team, because when you struggle to get kills, you can support with your utility, and when you struggle to support with utility, maybe it's a comp problem, you can get kills, right? So very important to differentiate. And with that being said, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. And let's take a look here, starting out on the first round here, some EU Valorant. Let's see. All right, so moving in quickly here, gonna buy the Frenzy off the bat. And unfortunately, Sage Wall, one of the most frustrating walls to go against there in Hookah, just completely delays the push, especially with pistols. Not like you're not really gonna be able to blow through that too quickly. So now we're gonna have to reposition. So let's see what the play is.
Cypher on B.
So it looks like both duelists are gonna be in Hookah here. I would have liked to have seen one come with Sleepy. Nice kill there by the Sage though. And here we go. So as we can see, Jet is already on site. So going to be a little bit late on the smokes. I also don't understand why there's a call to rotate here. This is one of those things that frustrates me whenever I see a rotation, when I just feel like there wasn't a point. It was a 5v2 at that point and your Jet was on the site. I think at that point you guys just push through together and you take that. But nonetheless, let's see what happens here. So going to put that star down right near the spike. Should maybe pull them off of it. I think it was close enough. All right, two players located. So this is where it gets important, right? This is where you got to play off your teammates. You've got that star down as well. Really nice shot there. Good job, backing up behind cover too. And a camera from your Cypher. So you're in great shape here. You're just making sure no one pushes up on the Cypher. Reyna's spotted now. No reason to peek here. You guys don't have to peek at all. And this is going to be a nice little round win. And there you go. A nice swing. All right here. So starting off onto the second round with the Ghost Spy. Also with a Spectre. A little curious as to why the choice for an upgraded pistol and an upgraded rifle. But nonetheless, let's take a look. So we've already lost a player. Now, one of the questions you asked was, how can I have impact, not just when it comes to utility, but also when it comes to getting kills. But one of the things with Astra that you're looking for is having impact through your utility to get yourself kills, especially with your suck. That's a big one. So right here, moving through, definitely I would have tried to move a bit faster there, and you're kind of seeing the problems with that. Because you're a little bit slow, you kind of put yourself in a position where in order to kill that Viper, you had to make a decision to swing out or not, right? And because you swung out, you couldn't clear that close right corner by the box. So you kind of were a bit too slow there, I think, and that's definitely a round you guys should have won. Now, on the flip side, right, impact frags are pretty simple. One of the best ways you're gonna get impact frags are simply just from being one of the first people into fights and being one of the people that can get the trades off of those fights as well, right? So staying close to your teammates. Now, that's not all of it, because when it comes to playing a support, a lot of the times you're going to be the person putting the utility down to help your teammates get those entries and to get those impact frags. So really, when it comes to how can I get more impact frags as a support, well, you're already very limited just by the role you're playing. So make sure you understand that is you should not be getting anywhere near the amount of impact in terms of frags as your duelists are, right? So first of all, the comparison has to be there, because if you think, oh, I need to be getting this amount of impact frags per game, well, you might be disappointed in how you end up playing. And unfortunately, they're going to walk into a trip as well. That is a very annoying positioning from that trip as well. But nonetheless, you were so focused on getting your utility down that sometimes it can slow your pushes and, you get a little discombobulated there. All right, so let's see what the play is here with utility. So we're putting down stars. We've got 1-star U-Haul, 1-star up there in the in rafters, or in heaven, I should say. Let's see what the play is. So we've got Phantom here. We did buy. We are down 1-2.
Ready, guys? I'm gonna slow lamps. I'm gonna peek out.
All right.
Now.
So Sleepy is calling, or the Sage is calling for us slow.
Close that. Lamps.
And that is the problem with, you know, using utility over in U-Haul or lamps, but not having anybody watch it when there's no smoke, is that even though you did that, a lot of people are going to stay in there because it's such a powerful position. So I think there you make a slight misplay, because just because you use the suck or whatever that was you used in U-Haul, it doesn't mean it's clear, and that costs you guys big time there. Now, thankfully, it looks like you guys will still win the round. One thing I do want to note, though, for all my support players, is one of the ways that I always found impact when I was playing supports is I would communicate often with my duelists, and I would ask them what they need from me, right? And I would ask, hey, when do you want this flash? Or when do you want this suck? And by using that type of communication, it really allows them to have a good focus on like what they want to make their play. Because if a duelist is running onto a site and they're not sure when you're going to throw a smoke or when you're going to flash for them, they might make a play differently or use their utility differently or path into site differently. So communication is actually one of the keys when it comes to playing at this rank, right? You know, you're in the upper echelon of the game, right? Diamond, Immortal, or low Immortal for you, you're up there. And it's really, really important that you understand that you're not going to be able to make a lot of these impact plays if you're not communicating with your team. Nonetheless, though, you do have this spike here. So it looks like you're going for a little fake plant just to see if that guy would peek you. It looks like your Raze actually does end up finding him. So good intuition there. You knew there was a guy over there. Right here, I would have jumped onto the box personally. But nonetheless, the Viper was going to come walk out, had to clear the right side. As she clears, you had a nice timing kill there. And that was a pretty decent round for you, I would say. All right, so we're up 3-2 now. Things are looking pretty good. We're going to start building that economy up. Round 6, very important round to win here. If you can win this one, you can really start snowballing this game. A lot of players over towards A short. You're going to move into bathrooms here. Now, remember, you don't really have any stars down, so you're going to be totally reactive. You can't be proactive in your placements here. You're going to have to put them down as your team needs them. Looks like their team is on sheriffs. It's still a 5v5, a lot of ultimates available. And there goes your jet to the Reyna, which is one of the worst things that could have happened. Your goal should be to do defend that weapon. Ooh, you're actually in a very I mean, I understand you had to make that play, but if that Reyna would have swung or heard you or something, that could have been very bad. You could have died putting those smokes down, and that is why you always want to be putting those down proactively if possible. You know, using recall to the best of your ability, because what just happened there, you know, it slows you down. Your teammates aren't able to utilize the smokes as effectively as if they were pre-placed, things like that. So this could have just been one of those rounds where the team, you know, didn't have a clear focus, but that could have been very bad. Nonetheless, though, 3v2 here, now into a 3v1. Last player spotted. All you guys need to do here is trade. And in this position, I love this, by the way. Just sitting here and letting this person drop out is the freest kill, and your Sage will get it regardless. But that is such a free spot, and I love that that is how you're playing that position. All right, so Viper is going to ult A short, so that's pretty much your signal to leave. Unfortunately, there you even got tagged by it. That could have been very bad if she was pushed up. But generally, because people are going to spam that, I think it does make sense that she would hold off and just use that to deter you rather than to try to get aggressive there. All right. So it looks like you're going to go for a little play here with your teammates as they push up. So I'm assuming this will be a suck. No, it's not going to be. It's going to be a stun, I think. And with that, you guys are able to clear Octagon, which is good. Very high traffic area. You're going to see a lot of players hiding in there. So I definitely think it's worth using utility, whatever it is, whether it's the pull, whether it's the stun. And here it goes down, full utility onto site for the execute, player close left. And I don't know if she was up top the whole time. She might have jumped up there, but that was a very messy fight. Let's see if we can walk this back really quick. All right, so your smokes go down, player jumps out. There is a player close, but I'm just having a hard time understanding. I think the jet ends up updrafting. There's no comms to communicate that. So just a very messy fight there. And no one was able to really win those individual fights. All right, so round 8 starting up here, going for the utility down onto a site. Unfortunately, though, Jet, it looks like was playing up top, was able to get the kill. But you guys are on sheriffs here, so not the biggest deal to lose somebody early. Really what you're looking for now is just getting some value. Like we said, you were talking about impact frags. Well, Jet is doing a very good job in this game of getting those impact frags, and you guys are just going to get mowed down as you walk through. But hey, on to the next round. So as round 9 starts here, you're going to be putting down some utility. Looks like that was a suck right there onto the jump up. Clearing out hookah. Now, here's the question. Why not have these smokes down pre-placed, right? Why not, if you guys are going to be taking this site, why not put your utility down so you could just run through that? That Cypher would not have been able to shoot you. You would not have had to worry about the player CT if there was one. But instead, you opt to hold on to those stars, take the fight, and you end up losing it. I think right there, as you're putting the suck down, put your other 2 stars down as well. And again, you know, getting back onto the subject of impact, just remember that you're not going to have any impact on a round if you're the first one dead, right? You really want to be careful if you're pushing up early as the support player, as an Astra, as an Omen, because if you're dead, your team doesn't have smokes, right? And that's a very big deal in a lot of situations. Or if you're not putting down all of your utility, or you're often dying with stars or whatever it is, whatever agent you play, whether you have stars, flashes, smokes, you know, stuns, nades, whatever it is, if you find yourself dying with your utility often, you know, good chance that you are losing some value and losing some impact you could be having if you make sure you use that utility before you die. That's why in the last round I was talking about pre-placing those stars so that it's easy, it's simple, right? You don't have to react, you could be proactive with it. So when you want to go in, you just activate them. You don't have to go back into astral form or anything like that. Nonetheless, though, 2v1 here. Just need to play together. And there it is. That was I see what you're doing there. You were playing very close to the wall so that as soon as those shots came through, you run right through it. That was smart. And here we are starting off round 11. Gonna put the suck down over there, Octagon. Again, have not seen many people peek here yet. Maybe it's because your utility is pretty good over there, so they're a little worried about it, right? Because otherwise, you know, a lot of times that's a free kill for you if they sit in that. Gonna push up. Clearing pretty well there. As you're gonna notice, crosshair placement was good. And right here, we just want to be careful. Could that jet be above that wall looking down on you? Always want to be checking for that here. I noticed you didn't. That could have been bad. We've already seen her up there once. So there's the smokes.
Let's go out.
And there's a pull. So let's take a look. Gonna make your way onto site here. Ooh, not gonna clear behind the box, but thankfully no one was there. And here we go. So 4v3. You guys have really good positioning so far. 5v3 after the res. This round is entirely yours if you guys play smart. Really nice peek there. Pretty crisp on the aim as well. Not exposing yourself for long and just taking what that player gives you. And with 1 player left, this round is in the bag. Good round. One thing I would note about the last round too, you're going to notice you use your smokes prior to pushing, right? Or you were using them all at once. And I think that's something you've really got to figure out is how do you want to play this agent? Do you want to be someone who places stars and then activates the smokes later? Or do you kind of want to sit in this astral form and use your abilities to help your teammates, right? It's very hard to do both, which is what I found when I played Astra. Very hard to do both. Very hard to switch between those because it requires, you know, 2 different types of mindsets. Because in one sense, you kind of got to be playing like, you know, an RTS game, and then in another sense, you know, you're playing an FPS, right? And it really just depends how you want to play that role. Now, for you in that round, you were sitting in your astral form using your smokes first. That seemed to work pretty well. I still want to see you try at least to use that utility on the fly after you've already placed the stars, right? And see how you play in a more proactive role. All right, so moving to pistol round here, we are on defense now.
Nothing here. I'm gonna go B.
Gonna be sitting in showers. Just holding for the push here. Now, generally speaking, if I'm going to turn away from a push or from a hold like that, I do like to quickly jiggle peek just to check. Notice there how you don't jiggle peek. Someone potentially could be there, walk up on you, get the kill. Never want that to happen. So in that circumstance, I probably would have liked to just need like jump check or something just to make sure. Well, 1 star remaining here, so this is going to be really difficult. This is all going to come down to teamwork. That star was not placed very well. Ooh, but a nice job finding the player up there.
1 more sight.
But the aim was not as crisp as it should have been, and unfortunately will fall to the jet. All right, so here we go. We've got the star placed now. This is what I want to see more of, right? I want to see you placing these stars so that as the team pushes or as you hear noise, you can react quicker. Remember, with the delay with Astra's placements and everything, you're looking at, you know, sometimes all the difference in the world when it comes to being a little more reactive in how you play, because you've got to place, then activate, then get out of Astra form. It's no fun. But let's see here, 2v4. This is going to be real difficult. And you will go down to the Jet. So as we kind of look more at the bigger picture here and thinking about impact on these games and what you've been able to do, I think one of the biggest problems I'm seeing is you're not really coordinating full executes enough with your teammates on attack and getting that utility into position so that it's a one nice smooth sort of like, you know, masterpiece. Like it looks like art, right? The beautiful game as you play. It's kind of clunky, right? You're doing this and that and then pushing through smokes and dying, right? I want to see it more fluid, and sometimes that comes from playing more Astra and just kind of getting a feel for like how you need to be. But right now it just feels like we're a little bit slow in how we're using the agent and her abilities, rather than feeling a little more smooth and a little more like you have more control of what you're doing. But see, this is, I do like this more, right? You pre-placed your stars.
Jet already in lamps.
And I think that's what's really important, right? Making sure those are down so that your teammates can play off of them. As you see there, getting the assist. So it definitely worked. 3v1 here, though.
Could be.
You've got a star coming up as well. Probably can just hold this position, honestly. Oh, well, you're going to push up nonetheless there and get the kill. Nicely done that round. And see there, that's what I'm talking about. The star placement with the communication was really, really good there. And it comes from a star that was pre-placed. Okay, so we're in round 16. And as you see, placing a bunch of stars now. We got 3 stars placed so far. This is what I like to see. I will say that, you know, I will give you the benefit of doubt as well. Maybe it's because you're on defense now that you're doing this. So on offense, it was a little bit different. That is also definitely understandable.
Can you play safe? I'm behind. They don't know about the wall.
So this is a pretty tough spot to be in here. We've got no elbow control, no hookah control, and Jet is just kind of alone on site. Unfortunately there, I think the play, there just has to be more support for your Jet. She's very dead unless she makes a huge play. I think that's asking a lot from her. And as you see there, you kind of just throw your stars down and hope for the best. But if you would have tried to use the stars earlier, maybe to support your Jet, that could have been a slightly better play. All right, so your Sage does end up clutching that round. Puts you guys up 9-7 here. We've got stars down. Did you just activate that smoke? Okay, I don't know about that, considering you have a wall there. That might have been a little bit wasteful. But nonetheless here,
I'm actually gonna...
playing inside of U-Haul, one of my favorite positions in the entire game. I love this spot. I love taking those pixel peeks, swinging on people. Oh, man, I love this position. All right, fighting happening over in showers. You're going to go support your teammate. Nice job there getting 1. Peeking on 0 bullets was definitely an interesting choice there. Always want to be paying attention to that ammo. That could have been really bad, and you would have felt really stupid, I bet. But nonetheless, we're in a 3v3 here. We've got, well, never mind. Make that a 2v3 as your Cypher goes down to the Reyna. Have 1 star here. I do agree with this one. You want to be able to get out, right? So using your smoke to block off hookah so you can at least get out of here is smart. There's going to be 1 player left. See, I would have pushed out. I would have ran through that Cypher cage simply because I know it's a 2v1 with a person planting. And now they're both going to be watching you, but if somebody is planting the spike, well, guess what? That guy definitely is not going to be able to shoot you if he's planting. So that's why in that situation, I probably would have pushed. But also, I understand I like to play a little more aggressive. Totally understandable. All right. 9-8 here, going on to a Sheriff buy. And, you know, I just want to get back to what we were talking about earlier. Impact, right? Well, that Raze definitely found impact with a triple kill. But when you're playing supports, when it comes to communication, obviously that's key with supports, right? I don't think there is anything I can think of when it comes to playing a support role that can beat what you can get out of being really good with communication with your teammates, right? That teamwork is what really separates good supports from bad supports, because you can have like an Omen playing support with no mic and you won't even notice the Omen in your game sometimes. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced that. But one thing I will say as well is having a plan is really important in these games as well. And I'll talk about that more in a moment. So when I was talking about having a plan, what I mean is having set positions for example, your stars or for smokes or for flash setups with Omen or whatever support you're playing, and just knowing ahead of time how you want to set certain things up. And to me, as I'm watching more of Sleepy play here on defense, it does seem like he has a lot more of this figured out. He says, okay, I want a star here, here, and here. This star is going to be my pull. This is going to be my smoke. And this is something a lot of newer players can learn from, is understanding where to use certain abilities to give yourself the highest chance of having impact with them, right? So a lot of this, think about Sova, think about Raze, knowing lineups is so important because that can guarantee you some of the most impact without you having to make some random, like, trigonometry guesses in your head during a match, right? Very, very important stuff here. But let's see, 3v2. That was a very bad peek. So let's watch this peek again. See that? See how he just kind of swings out, walks out, and isn't even really aiming in the right spot? So that was a bad peek, right? Here, you want to jiggle this, and you want to stop and be able to take your shot. You're still walking as you shoot, you crouch, you spray, you commit, you die. So definitely a poor play there. That was a very important round, and there's no way you should have lost that one. All right, here we are, 11-8. Going to be using that smoke for the one-way. This is obviously very common smoke. I use it with Omen, use it with Astra. Works great. Can use it with Viper, whenever you want. Smokes up on top of double box there. Very, very good. So a call out for 1B so far. Again, as you guys are probably noticing, all of these stars are pre-placed. This is what we like to see. This allows us to be very, very fast with our reactions, right? This is perfect. Going to recall the stars that were over on B. Just playing now reactionary.
Coming out.
Just looking through walls, waiting for spots, waiting for calls from teammates. This is good. A little slow here. Obviously, we know that those stars were still coming up, so you didn't really need to go into Astral Form that soon.
No heal, bro. 30 seconds.
I will say you did kind of back up a little far away from this corner. I like playing as close to that corner as possible so I can support my teammates in times exactly like that. See how that player was all the way walked up? If you were a little bit closer up there, you can help support those guys on site, make crossfires. Very, very, very important as a support. Probably something I should talk about more often is playing off of teammates for crossfires as a support. One of the best ways to have an impact is looking at your map, reading your mini map, and reading where your teammates are and how you can create crossfires with them when enemies approach, and then taking those fights at the appropriate times. Really, really, really important in high-level play. All right, here we are. Potentially we are in match point, potentially the final round. 12-8 here. Things looking pretty good. Again, we've got all stars placed. A lot of players outside of TP over there, outside of Hookah. Sage is going to run through as well. This is a soft throw. Not sure what everybody's doing. Well, it looks like Cypher's just going to end the game. So, hey, that's one way to do it. A pretty nice game there. And taking a look at the scoreboard really quick, we're going to notice you only had 9 kills. But I don't think that's a bad thing. You went 9, 14, and 10. 10 is quite a few assists. Now, you had no first blood. So, again, right, one of the things we talked about going into this is how do you have impact? Is not just through kills, but also, through utility. I think this is a really good example of you having impact with utility. We saw good pulls. We saw some good smokes. We saw some things that weren't so good. I think the biggest thing I can think of is timing on attack. You got to get better timing with your teammates. Either it's through communication or just through understanding the game more, so you can make sure you're putting down the proper smokes, the proper utility at the proper times. A little bit slow there for sure. Felt a little clunky, a little sloppy. Defense, whole different ball game. Looked much better, much more confident with your stars. And on top of that, we're noticing 10 assists. 10 assists tells me you're doing something right, because that is what you want to be seeing when you're playing support. For example, Viper with 9 assists. That's what you want to be seeing. Now, the First Bloods is no surprise. Astra is not a very First Blood heavy agent. I think that one thing you could think of if you want to have more impact with First Bloods, try looking for opportunities where you have been playing very defensive on sites around certain utility, don't use that utility in the next round and then try making a slight push off of it. For example, pushing showers potentially could have been a good play at some point. Maybe trying to get a little more aggressive up a short or something when playing on defense. Those type of little things where you just take a little peek. You say, hey, is anybody here? I haven't peeked this yet. They're not going to expect it. Doesn't mean they're not going to be ready for it, but they're not going to have that knowledge that, hey, this guy's been doing this over and over and over again. You played super defensive every single round on defense. Imagine if you would have pushed up one of those rounds. You might be able to get some more first bloods, because I know getting more impact frags is something you're looking for. With that being said, though, my main takeaway from watching this is I think you're doing a great job overall, but you just want to get the timing down better with Astra when it comes to the star placements. I'd like to see on attack, I'd like to see more stars placed pre-round or just like pre-push, rather than sort of at the time of push or at the time of fights. When there's gunfire happening and you're in Astra form, it's best to be out of it if possible, so you can support your teammates more, because I will say your aim definitely looks good enough to be able to get more kills in these games for sure. So hey, hope that was useful. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for submitting it. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.